Hey, Triad Church Network, Brad Wright. The month of February is already here, and it's unbelievable how quick a year can start to go, and almost, if we're not careful, seem to get out of control in a hurry. And so we always want to remind our pastors, remind our churches, remind our church leaders, God intentionally gives us moments of rest and rhythms of rest that we should put into practice, which is why we just had Addis come just a week or so ago and share about what that looks like. Would love for you to take a look at what Andy and I talked about in our conversation here after those meetings. But we also know February right there in the middle is Valentine's Day. So pastors, husbands, we want to remind you that that's coming right up around the corner. But the reminder for us as well is it's not just that it's a month of romantic love that we celebrate, but we celebrate the love of God because he sent his son Jesus for us. And so as our churches, as you think about all the things that you want to do to celebrate the month of February, let's be reminded what's most important. And let's be reminded that some of those things, sometimes they're good entryways, good moments to have in a church, a good doorway to a conversation or something like that. But we don't ever want to be a church that's a gimmick. We want to be churches that offer people the real solid truth of the gospel and the real solid truth about God's love for us and what that looks like. That we're dead in our sin and our trespasses, and we can't save ourselves. And he loved us so much that he sent his son to die on a cross for us, because ultimately that's the only message that's going to help families, couples, husbands and wives, people that are struggling all around us right now. And speaking of which, I want to remind not just our pastors and church staff, but I want to remind our churches that our marriage retreat is March 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, and it's right around the corner. We've got a bunch of couples that have signed up this year. We're so excited about the opportunity we've got to just catch your breath before Easter. That's really the theme and the goal of the marriage retreat for us is for husbands and wives, pastors and their spouse, to just catch their breath before Easter and it's spring break and before we get into summer and things just get busier and busier as we roll through the year. And so if you haven't already registered for that, we'd love to see you March 1st, 2nd, and 3rd for the marriage retreat that TCN puts on every year. And then the last thing I'd remind you, pastors, you got an email about this, but I want to remind you about some vision trips. If you did not initially get to go with us to Canada last year, we'd love the opportunity for you to be able to go to Canada with us this year and just catch a vision for what God's doing in Mile One Mission and how TCN is a partner ministry to them. And so if you, your staff, somebody in your congregation is interested in what that looks like, we'd love to partner with you and get you up to Canada, Newfoundland, the St. John's Bay area to see what God's doing there and see how we're partnering with those churches and those church plants. Beyond that, we love you. We hope you're doing well in the midst of the ice and the snow and whatever else it is that's coming our way. The reminder to me is always, as much as I think I'm in control of things, ultimately God's in control of all of it. And so we're just going to enjoy his good blessings and beautiful scenery and the things that we get to do because of the weather outside. Ultimately, God bless you. We're praying for you, and TCN's always here to serve you.